were so gallantly streaming.
Hey, good news, everyone. The Mueller report is in, and Trump colluded with Russia. Oh, what's that you say? Barr said otherwise? Barr was handpicked by Trump. He wanted to investigate Hillary's emails. As the New York Times pointed out, there's a lot more in there than Barr's willing to admit.
You know what that means, folks? It's time for us to get our hopes up again.
Who could have seen this coming? Hope you've enjoyed your victory laps.
Now, I'm a little disappointed to see a lot of traitors on our side go, oh, okay, I guess we'll drop it. Drop it?
I think our members of Congress should subpoena the contents of the report or subpoena Mueller himself to make these findings public.
Our worst fears have been confirmed. Trump colluded with Russia, and the whole thing stinks worse than... That's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. But this Trump collusion thing is a lot bigger than we thought it would be.
Just release the Mueller report.
Let's just sort of rewind a little bit here and check out Vox's Explainosaurus thing they do, where they tell you how to think correctly about what's going on. Beautiful. This is this guy, Alvin Chang, a very precocious, I assume, gay, Asian, Chinese guy who really knows how to present an argument. Now, this is what everyone seems to be forgetting because some douche named Barr, who loves his daddy, who doesn't love their daddy, decided that daddy's a good boy. Check it out.
When it comes to Trump and Russia,
possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia.
It's easy to feel numb to the details.
George Papadopoulos.
Roger Stone.
Jail.
Manafort.
Jail.
And every time we
should
hear
be in
Trump
jail.
respond,
Never any collusion. Russian collusion hoax. Because there was no collusion.
But no matter how many times Trump says this, here's what we can't lose track of.
Here's the facts.
We now have evidence of 3 major connections between the Trump campaign and Russia. We know that people working for Trump were willing to work with Russia to help him. And it's possible they broke the law to do so. Here's how we know.
Here's how we know.
FBI Special Counsel
By the
Robert
way,
Mueller
I love that Asians are so good at computers because it makes things much easier to understand.
tied
Are
several
they smarter than us?
Trump officials to Russia. So let's try to organize them. We can do so with 3 specific categories. The first is a category we'll call shady connections.
Shady is
Years
right.
before Trump's 2016 run, his campaign manager, Paul Manafort, had several problematic connections with Russia. He had worked for Ukraine's pro-Russian political faction, making tens of millions of dollars.
So just to be clear here, in the past, he'd been working with Russians and making money with them. And he was working with this group that supports Russia. And within the tens of millions that was going back and forth, he also owed this Russian guy a bunch of money. Is that, could that be a more obvious example of Russia hacking into our voting machines and changing the results? It's all right there. Chang laid it out.
$1 million to a Russian oligarch named Oleg Deripaska. And then during the 2016 campaign,
more like.
he allegedly gave polling data to a man named Konstantin Kalibnik, who has ties to Russian intelligence.
So Manafort gave polling data to someone in Russia. That's like hack 101. Go ahead.
Manafort left the campaign in August 2016, and he's now in prison for laundering $30 million and hiding it from the US government.
Just pause. Now, if someone can launder money, surely they can help hack elections. And by the way, he only got 7.5 years. Now, he's 69. That gets him out around 77, which is about a year longer than the average life expectancy for white males in America. So it's a life sentence. That's not enough. If he was black, he would have got 2 life sentences. So the best they can do is let him die in jail. Nice try, justice system. That's what happens when Trump's in charge. People only die in prison. Not good enough.
We can call
I
this
hope he
second
gets
category
raped
Russian intel.
after he dies.
During
by
the
his
campaign,
family.
several Trump staffers, including his son, worked with Russians to get dirt on top
Nice
Democrats.
hair, douche.
Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor,
Yes.
attended a meeting in Trump Tower with a Russian lawyer named Natalia Veselnitskaya, who promised documents and information
Just
from
pause.
the
Now, if that isn't a smoking gun, I don't know what is. 2 people who were familiar with Trump and wanted him to win the election answered a call when someone said they have scathing emails and all kinds of dirt on Hillary Clinton. And they went and listened to that person who said they had dirt on Hillary. Is that dirty pool or what? Can you imagine Hillary interested in dirt on Trump? Can you imagine someone at NBC leaking some Access Hollywood tape of him making an inappropriate joke? Or can you imagine Tom Arnold dedicating an entire show to finding tapes of Trump peeing on someone? The DNC, okay, well, they do that occasionally, but they don't do it with Russians. They do it within the country. And Trump did make that pussy joke, and he probably did have prostitutes pee on stuff. What's the matter with that? But yeah, she's Russian is another thing.
That would reveal dirt on Hillary Clinton. Meanwhile, hackers working for the Russian government stole emails from the Clinton campaign and other top Democrats.
Which is probably
Trump's
linked.
Foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos heard about these emails and tried to arrange a meeting between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Just pause. How is that not hacking? Some guys hacked into her emails, and then someone in the Trump campaign wanted to see them. That's pure collusion right there. You know what I would do? Just pause. If I was a Republican, which I'd rather die than be, and someone said, hey, I have tons of dirt on your opponent, I'd say, no, thank you. And they go, no, we have all her emails, and she's up to all kinds of shady business. I go, there's the door. Oh, we have Trump saying all kinds of crazy shit about women. I don't want to hear about it. If he tells me, then I will hear about it, but otherwise, I don't want to talk to you. I would do this so much I'd have tendinitis.
The hackers gave the emails to WikiLeaks, and Trump's campaign advisor, Roger Stone, reached out to WikiLeaks to find out more about the hacked emails.
So tons of people want to see these emails. That's collusion. You're colluding with the owner of the emails to see the emails. And that hacks election cycles. That's why Hillary lost, because people saw her emails.
Papadopoulos lied to the FBI about the emails and was sentenced to 14 days in prison.
No one's ever lied to the FBI
Stone
before.
lied to Congress about the emails and was arrested.
Hope he rots in jail too till he's
The third
77.
and final category is
Oh,
the
this is
Moscow
where it
deal.
gets really hot.
While Trump was complimenting Putin on the campaign trail,
If our country got along with Russia, that would be a great thing. What, he called me a genius? I'm going to disavow it? Are you crazy? And I hope he
Loves
likes
Putin. He's probably gay
Trump
for
was
him.
also negotiating a real
Just
estate
pause.
deal.
Remember when Stephen Colbert called Trump Putin's cock holster? They probably have sex. They're probably gay. I don't have a problem with gays, except in this example, homophobes would probably be shocked to know that Trump's a gay lord. And this Trump was a real estate guy. He wanted to do a real estate deal in Moscow. That's where Putin lives. Coincidence? I don't think so. He would have made tons of money from that deal. And Trump, there's one thing he doesn't do a lot. It's make money from real estate. In Moscow, probably.
Moscow. And the person who negotiated the deal for him was his personal lawyer, Michael Cohen. But here's the important detail.
Wait a minute. He wanted to do a real estate deal, and he had his lawyer get involved in looking at the contract? That's hacking an election as far as I'm concerned.
Cohen needed someone to grease the wheels. So he emailed Putin's press secretary, Dmitry Peskov. The deal didn't end up going through, but if it had, it would have made Trump a lot of money, which is why Cohen kept Trump updated on these negotiations.
Just pause. So that was crystal clear right there. Russia wanted Trump to be president so he could have a building in Moscow that Trump would make a lot of money from, maybe a hotel or whatever. So they hacked the election so Trump could have a thing. Maybe don't have notifications appear when we're making a video would be a good idea.
Cohen is going to prison for, among other things, lying to Congress about Russia. So
just pause. You see, people on Trump's administration have gotten timelines wrong and made all kinds of little typos and mistakes when talking to the FBI. For that, they should go to prison till they die, obviously. And what it proves is that they made Russia hack the election. How can you not see this? Andy Chang laid it all out in his precocious little naughty boy way.
When we zoom out, we can see the three major connections the Trump campaign had to Russia.
It's just Vox
while
for you
Trump
right
was
here.
President. His top campaign official had close ties to people who worked for or with the Russian government.
That's the Russian flag.
Several members of his campaign, including his son, We're open to receiving dirt
son-in-law.
from people who
They
work
wanted
for the
to
Russian
see
government
emails. That's
to
two.
improve Trump's chances at winning the election. All the while, Trump's personal lawyer was trying to close a lucrative deal for him in Russia with the help of
Can
a
we
top
just
Putin official.
just stop here for a second? Number one, the guy who worked in his campaign made tons of money doing business with Russia. 2, tons of people wanted to see dirty emails on Hillary. 3, he was going to have a building there. What do you need? Go ahead.
We don't know how much President Trump knew about each of these conversations, or whether any of them crossed the line into outright criminality.
Yeah, I do.
But even from what we see here, we can see that Russia and ultimately Putin was willing to help Trump make more money and win the White House.
Just pause. I like how Andy Chang there goes, he was willing to see Trump make more money, and then he follows with the obvious conclusion for that and win the White House. Because they're basically the same thing. Owning a building in Moscow and having the White House. They're both buildings. Duh.
And the people working for Trump were open to Russia's help.
Just pause. So Putin wanted Trump. Oh, that's awesome. Putin wanted Trump to have a building in Moscow. Why wouldn't he want him to have a building in D.C.? Why are you so blind? As Chuck D used to say, you're blind of the facts to who you are because you're watching that garbage. I think we're done.
We've started this
Just pause.
paid membership.
I want to see a little bit of Andy Chang. Chang? Yeah, Alvin Chang. Sorry. Oops, I got his name wrong the entire time. Look how sexy he is and the way he sort of plays coy like a cute little schoolgirl. Look at him go. Go, Alvin.
Program
Alvin and the
called
Cute
Vox
Monks.
Video Lab. When you sign up, you support our journalism, but you also get access to some really cool exclusive content, kind of behind the scenes of what we work on. So you can join at vox.com/.
Right there. I love that smile. Oh, look at that cute smile. Oops. Rare. So the moral here is cute Gaysians couldn't make it clear Trump colluded with Russia. And the only people who have our backs are Kamala Harris, who's demanding to see the full Mueller report, and basically Bernie Sanders. Adam Schiff pussied out. Look at Adam Schiff here saying that he understands that they couldn't prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was criminal activity.
The most positive interpretation that this handpicked attorney general could give.
But do you accept the fundamental conclusion in that 4-page letter that there was no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russians?
I accept Mueller's conclusion, and I assume Barry wouldn't misrepresent this, that he could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt the crime of conspiracy. But as I've said all along, there's plenty of evidence of collusion and corrupt commingling of work between the Trump campaign and the Russians. But I fully accept as a prosecutor that he couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that crime.
No, Schiff, I don't accept that. I'm calling you a traitor, Adam Schiff, and I'm calling Trump and everyone else involved a traitor. And guess what the punishment for, I guess it's called treachery is? Traitorousness? That's a capital offense. That's death. Traitors get the death penalty in this country. And only one, Manafort, he'll die in prison. He's the only one who is getting killed for this. The rest of them should all die. Traitors should die. You call yourself a patriot, then go kill some traitors on the electric chair after a short trial. I am Miles McInnes. I make videos about social justice. To see them all, go to nohate.com.